The first song on our debut album, Dare to Dream, is called Deep. Now, Deep reflects a very challenging time for me when my husband unexpectedly asked me for a divorce. And as with most life transitions, major life transitions, my whole world as I knew it completely fell apart. And I sought out life coaching to help me get through it. And in those coaching sessions, my coach, called Dove Barron, he asked me poignant questions about my life and my dreams, and we kind of went down the rabbit hole, so to speak, looking at my life. And so the song Deep really is me looking in a very deep way, reflecting in a very deep way on my life. And the main line in the song, how deep do I want to go, is a question I repeatedly kept asking myself when he asked me those questions. So the song never actually came to a resolve with regard to, now I have the answer, because at that time I didn't. And yet it was really important because it represents a first step. Joseph Campbell talks about the hero, also the heroine, of course, the hero's journey, where we are called to adventure, he says. We're called into a new phase in our life. And I see this song is so perfect to be the first song on the album, and also the first song which represents the beginning of my journey in reclaiming myself during this part of my life, is called Deep. And so, yes, it initially had a different melody, which was done, I was helped with a friend of mine called Gerhard Loz in Vienna in Austria when I lived there at that time. But later when I met Sean, and I'll let him tell you all about it and how we first met with regard to this song, then Sean changed all the melody completely, although we kept the lyrics the same. So I hand it over to you, Sean.
Yeah, when I first, it was on the very first day I met Lindsey in person.
Yes.
In downtown Toronto.
We had met at a songwriters meetup.
Online.
Online,
Yeah.
yes.
It was interesting because I was here, but we didn't get a chance to actually physically meet back then. It was a little bit later. Anyways, we're sitting near the CN Tower in a park, and she pulls out her iPod and she plays a song. And it's like, well, it's very good.
Nervously. What will you think of it?
Yeah, and it was like, and so I was listening to her voice. I really liked her voice, and I really liked the song. And later on, when we decided that we were going to write together, and she said she would like to do Deep as a song, I said, well, we were moving towards a genre that was a little bit more new age.
Yes.
And because of that and the lyrics, I said, if we're going to do this song, I'm going to need a little bit of time away from this version. Yeah. And I asked her if it was okay if I would write a whole new instrumental version for it, because the hook was so strong in the other one and was very different from New Age.
It was more of a country feel.
Yeah, so it took us a little while before we actually got to the song. And then when I felt that I had sort of, I was ready to take the lyrics on without having the melody in my head of the other song, I moved forward with it and wrote the song that you hear now. The song started, I was kind of piecing together a choral sort of part. That's the humming you hear at the beginning of the song. It's like, yeah, this is taking it the way I want it to go. It feels very holding. And I wanted it to move forward and keep pulling people through their journey. So I added the harps as a sort of momentum.
So beautiful.
And then eventually the song sort of evolved into the bridge, and I thought, well, it would be nice to have some beautiful vocal harmonies through this to sort of...
And we wanted to put like that angelic kind of choir behind it as well.
Yeah, on top of the humming choir as well. Yeah, we have lots of angelic choir. And then I felt the listener, because it's a lot to absorb the lyrics, because they might want to have a little bit of time to think. So I thought it might be a good spot to put an instrumental break, which is right after the bridge. That's the break you hear.
And that's the part where we also have some angelic voices. So the idea is, as you're traveling, along your journey, you're also being held spiritually, and so those voices kind of represent that.
Yeah, exactly. And I used oboes to sort of break the sound that was happening, the winds, like flutes and oboes, and then supported by the strings to sort of release into a space of thought, and then it's set up for the last verse, and then the song eventually progressed into the end. And when I was thinking about the end, because the thought, the process is unresolved, the music had to be left unresolved, but still sound musically right. So that's how we came up with that ending, having the sort of the momentum sort of slow down and leave you with the thought.
Yes. I thought you did such an amazing job
Thank you.
with it. So beautiful. And we hope you love it. And if you were perhaps going through also a challenging time, then I hope this song supports you.